whoever is here to just breathe with me. The last time you took a breath, or 10. When have any of us had time lately to just take a second, a minute, or two? And if you still need to be doing that, I invite you to continue. It has been a long time since I have been here doing anything like this. Interestingly, I recorded a video last week and was not moved yet to post it. It doesn't mean I won't. I don't know what it means yet, but I'm also moved to record this one. On my hiatus, I was working on different tools and really pouring into myself and learning how to pour from that cup and not an empty cup where others are first. And something that came up is that I love to do my makeup, and I love it so much that I decided, you know what? I like to do my makeup even if I'm not going anywhere. And, like, it could just be me sitting in my apartment with makeup on. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. But I am also moved to use a couple of decks, and while we talk about it, I do my makeup, and I'm doing something with my hands while we hang out together. So I welcome anyone who's watching. If you're doing arts and crafts, if you're just wanting to continue to do deep breathing, if you want to do makeup with me, this is an invitation to just hang out. It's similarly to what I had wanted to do with craft chats, and I am just being led here to do it this way. So this is kind of like a craft chat of its own. The decks that were yelling at me for this message are first Abiola Abrams' African Goddess Rising, which, if you're still around, you probably are very familiar with this deck. And then a newer deck that I picked up along my hiatus journey, Memento Mori. Sunshine. So yeah, we'll just get into the cards first. I am only moved to pull the one card from this deck. It's interesting. Sometimes when I'm, the times where I was doing this before, I felt differently than I do now. The excitement of the divine choosing what you will hear through a paper material was just felt different than it does now. Your first card is Queen Nandi of Intuition. 35 could be a significant number for you. It is definitely for me. 35, specifically for me, has always come around when I am at or nearing or being shown a piece of growth. And it says here, Queen Nandi, goddess of intuition of the Zulu nation. She is the temple of queens, so I'm speaking to someone who is highly regarded. Element of fire could be one of the fire signs, or you could be a very fiery spirit. Queen Nandi was the mother of warrior king Shaka Zulu. Her father's royal family first rejected her. His father's royal family first rejected her. They said that she wasn't pregnant and her belly resulted from an Ishaka beetle sting. But Nandi knew her son would be great before he was born. Intuition. Nandi's guidance, Queen Nandi's guidance says you already know. Take a deep breath and surrender to what you know to be true. Trust your inner wisdom and guidance. Yeah, let's take that deep breath again. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. You can do this a few more times as I read the embodiment of Queen Nandi. It says, what is your guidance telling you? Put your hands over your third eye, the center of your forehead, and ask, if I knew what the answer is, what would it be? Then follow your first instinct. So this is about third eye channeling. There might be a third eye blockage. I've been massaging. I've got like a lot of tension in like the back of my neck and right into like these creases by my eye. And so I've been using this like face, I think it's supposed to be kind of like a gua sha for like really good like skin care, but I'm actually using it to just dig into things. and I'm digging into the inner corners between my nose and eyes and on my third eye because I feel the tension there sometimes when you're just doing a lot of this. You know, the audacity. So if you know, you have to follow your first instinct. And maybe you should take some time massaging that part of your face and just releasing whatever tension. I welcome you to deep breathe and release tension. It continues with the Creator and your ancestors connect with you through your intuition. So you have to trust your internal GPS. The nudges, signs, and coincidences are divine guidance. Slow down. Go for a walking meditation. Be present with nature and pay attention. Being present allows you to feel, hear, see, and sense your guidance. And the declaration is, I am knowing. That's interesting. We'll put that to the side. And the Memento Mori, I like it because it's very like to the point. So I'm curious what point the divine is trying to make to you. This one flipped out. The card of holding space. Interesting. I think I'm talking to a group of people who are very good at holding space for literally everyone. You know your friends, you know your family, you know the people that you love very, very well. You really are good at being there for others. And the divine that I am hearing is asking, but have you held space for yourself? I think what I'm hearing your intuition has been telling you seems to be more, are you listening to me about taking care of yourself? Or do you think this is some kind of joke? Me and you both. Ooh, I got my ass kicked the other day by Spirit on this very topic. So, oh gosh, if you are anything like me and up until the here and the now, your entire fucking life was about everyone else, you know, and you just had no room to be anything but the thing for others at all times, that you started to like chip away at your own self even as you're healing, because you don't know that like the healing isn't supposed to be to facilitate for everyone else around you, it is for you. Yeah, I get it. That's hard. But also, it's hard because it feels too easy, doesn't it? It feels easy, like, to stop and go for a walk. Like, anyone can rationalize stopping a productivity to go walk. Anyone can feel privileged enough to feel that they have the time in this world and with everything going on right now to just stop. Like there's so much happening, there's so much that needs done, like the world is falling apart, you know. Systems are crashing and burning. I know, my love. I believe that there are people, I'm sure, that are supposed to be doing something. I do. In the way that I believe you think you're being told, even though you're being told, no, you do, you have to, the following of the nudges, that's something that stuck out to me. The other day, got my ass whooped. Or was it? It was probably just yesterday, honestly. I got my ass whooped by the divine. And like, you know, I have a bestie who, you know, just be holding me the fuck accountable in the most loving and cherishing ways when I start getting all bent out of shape about stupid shit. Let alone not stupid shit, you know. But I had to remember that, and there are going to be a few of you who may not understand this but still need to hear this. You get to a point in your spiritual journey where the excuse of I was raised this way, the excuse of, well, I experienced horror and abandonment, you get to a place in your spiritual journey where maybe that flies with other people around you and your peers, and maybe that is needed to interact with your family, your peers, but it doesn't fly spiritually when you are connecting with spirit. You can use the logic that was crafted from the patterns of the past to be safe, because we all know that, like, the amount of safety we thought we were having, even the little bit of safety we thought we had, it's not real. Like, we were relying on human beings, fallible people, to, like, govern us. I know. And in all of that, did you know that the first thing you can do in the face of knowledge is have the wisdom to hold space for yourself? I assumed it was for yourself because this skeleton is you. And you're not holding yourself in a container that has no lid, that has no way out. This is just you putting yourself... It's giving the hermit. Are you holding space for yourself? Are you understanding that your intuition is so important in your spiritual connection with the divine, and it cannot be developed, it cannot be used without some level of connection that does require alone time, that does require some loneliness. There's just so much noise, and it blocks out the nudges, it blocks out the coincidences, it blocks out the synchronicities, it blocks because it's so much noise. Are you hearing yourself just as much as you are hearing the collective world? Everything in your space, everyone in your space. Are you doing your part, which does involve taking a second, slowing down, and being there for yourself? As a black woman, I do get a little bit annoyed, and I probably mentioned this in the video that I didn't post. Hold on. I feel like I have to tell you what I'm doing, and I don't know why. Maybe you don't give a shit. You can tell me if you watch it. The first thing I put all over my face, I already, like, washed and toned and serumed and moisturized, so I'm using a Soothe and Seal, by BR, this Cocoa Moisture Balm, that I got years ago, and I don't know if they sell this anymore. It's like a form of drugstore makeup, and I just kind of like to put it on after, like before I put my makeup on. I like to have this because it's also kind of like supposedly a moisturizing primer, so we'll see. And then I'm using whatever the fuck this is. Too Faced Born This Way, multi-use sculpting concealer, golden beige if you want to know. Anyways, slowing down. What was it like the last time you slowed down, if you did at all, is really kind of the thing. But yeah, I recognize that we are being inundated with a lot of fucking scary shit. I will say that a lot of people of color probably confuse a lot of like other groups in the way that we're behaving at the moment, because I think the idea that people aren't angry enough is like interesting, because like we're plenty angry. It's, you know, we're getting the trope of anger, you know. Where do you think the stereotype of angry black woman and crazy Latina came from? Like, it's not just this built-in system of primitiveness. It's this innate, though potentially unexplainable, feeling of sovereignty. And the feeling that that sovereignty and that holiness is being manipulated and disrespected and gaslit by people who, you know, don't think it applies to them, so therefore it is not real. Like, we have been saying stuff like this for a minute now. And so it's not that it's not terrible. It's absolutely fucking terrible. I just think that, you know, I've been watching a lot of different angles of this stuff, right? And I'm watching how, like, easily perpetrators can use common language, just the easiest thing we came up with to try to connect with one another, which is like a common language of some sort, something that we can all speak and understand each other easily. I've been watching a lot of these perpetrators use language alone to elicit so many reactions. And some of those reactions are a show of strength. I think that there is action that needs to be taken. I also think, though, that a lot of these people are feeding off of that crazy amount of energy output. Like, you don't say some of the shit that's being said in these, like, court cases and town halls and all this stuff, all these, like, reports and everything like that, these news channels, and just the egregious shit that's being said right now after everything that's been going on. You don't, like, go there if you don't know that it's distracting. Like, what's the point of saying anything other than answering a question or actually just fucking apologizing for your negligence at the very least, or like admitting that yes, I committed this crime, I was involved in this thing. Like, you don't say those types, you don't resort to that method unless you're aware, since you're trying to get away with it, that it's a good distraction mechanism. It's great to get that kind of energy going. It's a very toxic thing. A lot of narcissists do this thing where they're just like, hey, like, you're the one acting crazy right now. I don't know why I can't speak. Nobody hears me. You just don't like what I'm saying. Which isn't a lie. No, nobody likes what you're saying, you bitch. Like, whoever I'm talking to, I don't, like, there's just so much bullshit going on. Like, this is just a monolith of these, like, cartoon caricature villains that are popping up all over the world right now, just, like, on a common list or in a common company with common fucking weirdo-ass goals. Like, ugh. Like, I think they know. Like, you can't do what you're doing, right? Like, it's not, like, holding them accountable is kind of funny because, like, that's, like, they've been skirting accountability so long in such intricate and amazing ways. Like, homie, they're not. Like, they're not pressed. They're not. They just need to get away with it a little longer, or, you know, try to get less of a sentence or less energy on the discipline and more energy on the semantics and the fight, you know, like. So, yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't that long ago that we were negotiating the human rights of people with just a straight up different skin color. That's it. Like, Nothing really else sets these, like, any of us apart. But because it's, like, this obvious thing, you know? So, like, I'm not surprised, human beings have yet to collectively, as a species on this planet, with the ability to use, like, language and interpretation, like, we have not even established a basic human right. It's always about, like, what individuals think other individuals who are either the same or different from them deserve to have, despite the shared humanity. It's a lot that's hitting us, right? Like, a lot to think about, a lot to stress out about. And, okay, and I got kids, and I got work, and I gotta eat. I have to still continue to function. I still. You might be right that you still have a job to do. I would also say that part of your job now is to pause, commune with self, and pivot only slightly enough where you don't feel like you're killing off you, while also recognizing that a lot has changed and you had no control over that change. You don't have control over really a lot. Airspun setting powder. But you do have control over self, and you are not as alone as you think you are. But I do think that people grow uncomfortable in loneliness. Me preaching to the choir here, like, it took me a long time to realize that being alone was being in a deeply spiritual place. Being alone meant being open to learning more. And not just, like, spirituality. Like, I'm learning my native language, the Taino language, what's left of it. People have compiled resources to teach it for free. And I'm like, oh my god. So, like, taking a pause and saying, like, well, if laws are made to be broken and all of this shit is fake and people have been taken advantage of, have died, there's no accountability and no way of knowing what's really gonna happen or what's best, or what tomorrow even looks like in this world. Like, yeah, I know it's blowing minds. NYX microbrow pencil in the color espresso, if you can see that. I don't know, for my eyebrows, for what little is left of my eyebrows. Yes, like, does it sound insane that in the face of all of this, the divine is asking you to stop doing things? Like, what's easier? Reacting? Or sitting? What's easier? Activity or inactivity? Reaction or inaction? Some people are really fucking good at, like, stillness. Some people are really good at stillness. I am I can admit that I have a very hard time being still. So, like, I think I really like the visualization of the memento mori hold space. I don't know, like, it just seems like you can take the lid off at any time and return this head to the body, right? And it doesn't get lost on me that, you know, the third eye is in this skull, or, you know, would reside here. We're talking about third eye, and your skeleton is in, like, a little jar to, like, hold. And I feel like even though that looks like sand on the bottom, it actually looks like mountains to me. So this feels like a form of an ascension, where the ascension isn't about the intense, dynamic, crazy experiences you're about to experience because we talked about it, you know, and you know that you're going to get all these things and yada yada yada. You're going to be the first in your line to do A, B, C, and D. You will prosper despite everything going on, and you're looking at the world around you like, how? Like, I believed it a lot before, and now, how? And the divine is like, I don't tell you how to do your job. Like, you walk into an office, you learn how you work, you walk into your job, you know the menu if you're a barista or a bartender, you know, like, the schematics and the scopes and the, you know, the schedules and the this and the that, you know. And it's like, this isn't something you have to, like, you don't usually feel like, dear almighty, please help me remember how to do my job today, and you've been working there for like 10 years, you know. It's like, this part, this bigness is about the divine. And if you're locked into that idea where you want to help and you need help, you have to stop action. I'm hearing you have to be inactive to combat reactive people. All of this stuff, like, on a social standpoint, like, POC and indigenous folks across the globe have all been saying, like, and trying to exert, like, hey, like, this shit is actually pretty bad. Like, this isn't just the movies. This is, like, what's really going on. And, like, people don't have the Avengers coming to save them. You know, like, this isn't, like, the superhero story you think it is, where, like, you know, we sign one document saying it's okay for you to get, you know, to get divorces or married, or it's okay for you to do, you know, you have these liberties, or you can, like, vote now, or you can this, or you can that, and they just keep breadcrumbing, right? Now you understand what a lot of people are trying to say. And I think it's because, like, yes, maybe you can stick your head in the sand. This is brow micro filling pen in medium brown by Benefit. And I think I got this like 5 years ago, and it's probably dried out. But I like to use it for some reason. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but it's just kind of been heavy on my mind. Like, how do you combat? A lot of the times, like, what they're doing is using the tactics that, like, are something that they couldn't handle anyway. Like, if when the tables are turned and it's their turn to be, you know, asking questions and demanding answers, it's always them getting pissed off that they're not getting the answers they want to get. You know, like, when they actually open up to conversation, it doesn't work in their favor, like, a lot of the time. So, you know, they can't handle their own fire. They can't even breathe in their own smoke. Like, it's, you know, whatever. Like, sure. But that just, again, really solidifies the fact that, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of this stuff, like, you obviously know you're not alone because, like, we're all just sitting here on the internet, like, what the fuck, you know? But what people are not talking about is the first step. And that first step is to take in that information. You are not eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It was handed to you on a silver platter. Like, you really want to know? Well, even if you didn't want to know, now you gotta know. I'm noticing this is an interesting wake-up call for a lot of people who didn't realize where this path leads, and a lot of us definitely did. Like, a lot of us were like, yeah, they did it to us first. And on top of everything, they did it to themselves before doing it to others. And now this generation of shocked groups of people are realizing the grand amount of privilege they were under that was also just straight up working against them. Like, it sucks to wake up like that. Like, imagine just waking up in the morning thanking God for a new day and you find out that, like, a lot of what you thought you were fighting for valiantly, a lot of what you thought was keeping you on a path of paradise, a lot of it was a lie. And even the parts that were true were bastardized, so it's like tainted, you know? Like, how often do you just take that breath? My homegirl told me one time she did an interview and she paused the room to breathe with her. And she told me they were like, the interviewers were like, I didn't even realize I needed that. So, like, thank you. Like, when was the last time? If you want to know what to do, it will require being incredibly open and honest and comfortable in exclusively a language you might still be struggling to learn, which is your own intuition. Those of us who have intuitive trauma, this is especially hard for us because we have been told by the very predators that were shoved in our face as power, that our intuition was not to be trusted, not to be acknowledged, to always be questioned and criticized, and eventually killed. Like, a lot of us were trained to kill our intuition. Just get rid of it. You shouldn't have it because you're supposed to be relying on whatever the hell it is. Whatever it is. Like, because I can't call it religion. I can't call it a cult. I can't call it, like, it's just whatever that kind of abuse is, where you're not allowed, like, to the very extent where you're not allowed to be at one with yourself. You have to get permission to be with yourself long enough to have your own opinion that may differ from someone else's. Like, that's the fuck. I get it. So it's hard to tell yourself, yeah, I should and will put a lot more attention into this being with myself thing. And that's good. It's good to know. Like, it's really good to know. It's really good to know that you're being told by the divine. I just see so much abundance here, right? Like, this regal ass woman, right? With this beautiful son. You know, like, this is one of my second cousin's houses, to be honest with you. Like, I have a lot of, like, beautiful cousins, you know, on my dad's side, which are all, like, Trinidadian, and I know this is Zulu Nation, but I just, like, it's the naturalness. It's interesting, like, even when we are, like, in the beginning stages or in the seeking stages, like, incorporating the cultural aspect, the colors, you know, it's very dark and earthy and abundant looking, and it's not the kind of opulence that looks flashy and good. It's the kind of opulence that just is, because that is a queen. And these are my vestments. It's very much, like, enviable, which I know that my theory, I do have this, like, conspiracy theory that, like, it's all just a part of jealousy. It's like when they talk about the 7 deadly sins, like, you want to be me so bad, so then you create the opposite of it and then try to convince other people, like, their shit is nothing, you have to come over here and, you know, support me and my ideas at, like, a large ass scale. It's just jealousy. It's like, ew, like, do your own thing and respect me in my space. But there's a whole, like, society built around disrespect. You're using a lot of fancy words. They use a lot of fancy words. Let's say it's not the system, we're talking about you specifically, right? Like, whatever it was that you're escaping from, that you have overcome, the curses that you have broken, you know, and that was a lot of activity. The ego death is literally just the first in a long line of pit stops you will be making on your journey. Being able to accept that you have work to do in the first place and that you're not God's gift to mankind is just step, like, 0.5. But it's still super freaking admirable when you're looking at your own life, when you're looking at everything that you've been through, everything that you've survived, everything that's happening now. You know, you're able to get out of bed and just, you know, function in any way after all this. And so now you're being asked to slow down and connect with me in the in-between spaces, outside of what you can share with others, outside of, like, the rage post that you so rightfully want to make about everything going on, outside of what a mainstream group can understand. You are being led to now use all the training that helped you do all of these amazing ego deaths and all of these, like, dark nights of the soul and all of this growth and all of this, and you're being asked to use it in a totally different way now. Now that you've developed the ability to understand all the different ways in which I wish to commune with you, I got my ass beat about this here. I'm taking my hands off. You're not a toddler anymore. You're grown now, spiritually, is what I'm hearing. hearing you are ready, which is why I'm letting you go. I'm hearing you're always in the palm of my hand. And I am so excited to see you do this. Oh. It feels fatherly, this energy. It could be... It feels fatherly. Like, it does. And that's heavy. Like... And it's not easy. Like... That is so hard. It's asking for a lot of trust, and it's not by force. And I wonder if any of us are really used to that. Well, not any of us. Some of y'all, I feel like y'all had like really good fathers and don't have any daddy issues, and like have never had an issue with connecting with the masculine side of the divine, maybe. I don't know. Some of us, this is like brand new territory. Some of us, this is like somewhere in between, where like it's new, it's strange, and you know, I'm along for the ride. Yeah, I'm doing a weird thing. Oh shit, I wasn't my bad, y'all. I covered my eyelids with this ColourPop cosmetic palette, and I did this color right here, whatever that says, Catch Me. Okay. And then I'm going in with this Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I have this like dark green color over here. I think it's called Enchanted. I don't know. I think it's, oh my god, this one, it's a dark green, not the like other greens. Cause like, yeah, Queen Nandi just was wearing green and I thought it was pretty. I know I look insane, bear with me. And I'm kind of going between the two palettes also. Like I'm moving between, actually no, I'm not. I'm gonna stick with Jaclyn Hill. I'm using this palette. Anyways, I guess, yeah, what I think I'm getting at is just like, it feels like, I know for me, there was just like a daddy-daughter moment where I was just like, I can't believe you want all this from me, and, you know, my doubt is coming in, and I do think it's masking the fact that, like, I am just uncomfortable. Like, this is just so uncomfortable, my goodness. So, like, this whole thing, and, like, whatever I'm going through personally, so uncomfortable. And I knew that I was supposed to be doing this thing, you know, like, I'm not just healing to prove that I can be a better person. I'm not doing all of the things that my ruling collective would hate to know I'm doing at a time like this to prove that I can do it. Right? Like, you were called to something. You were definitely called to something. And you can walk away and pretend it's not a thing, pretend it doesn't exist, pretend it doesn't apply to you. You can. You could focus on literally anything else. Like, you don't have to do anything with this knowledge, and yet you know that that's what you're here for, that's what you came back here to do. Like, deep down, you know, came here for such a time as this. Like, you wanted to get into the tussle. That's why it's there, you know? I'm doing, like, a mixture of some browns, these two browns on the outside, and then I'm going to start going radical into this section, I think, with some camel colors. You know that you are doing this because you signed up for it, whatever it is. I don't know, you know? I think what's interesting is that there's a lot of us out here that are like, yeah, like, we have to be the ones to heal and stop perpetuating the same bullshit from the past. And it's not because I can just have an abundant life where I'm finally making the money I want to make and, you know, having the children I want to have and the nice husband that I manifested for, the hot wife and the amazing job. Like, you know that that's not you. Like, it's the thing you think about, but you know that's not you. I see you. You know. Which is rad. I think, also that I understand that this is, like, fucking unprecedented scary things. Like, yes, the world, unprecedented, scary, you know, happening right here and right now, what we deem as, like, already the future. Like, we treat the here and now like it's already the future, this, like, sci-fi world. Like, we do that, and I do find that interesting. So even in your own little corridor of life, right, you have made so many choices to be so involved. I get it. Because it's, like, it's super hella confusing. It's so hella confusing. But you're doing incredible work already, and you know that. And again, this is why the divine is challenging you the way that they are. Which is, like, I don't challenge you to react. I challenge you to use the pause. You did all this activity on yourself. Like, in a sense, you kind of got used to the activities and then the satisfaction and gratification of feeling that the divine was pleased with your actions or that you're on the right path. Like, you got accustomed to that being the way that you were communicated with. And the divine is like, I wasn't training you to do activity, I was making you do activity. You don't need to be trained to excavate yourself. You need to be open to excavating yourself. Because what you find in those excavations is what ends up helping you understand this next part, which is, I'll tell you when it's time. You will know when it's time to do. And until then, you know what it feels. You don't seem to really understand what it means to not do. Like, it's nice to be, you know, a happy-go-lucky, worky type of person, you know? And if you like what you do, yeah, you never work a day in your life. It is incredibly hard, though, to make you as necessary as the world has trained you to make knowing them. Treating getting to know yourself like you train for a full-time job or a career, or, you know, this thing that you're excited about, your hyper-focus and fixation, your special interest, like, now you gotta slow down and make that legitimate. Like, that's real. Just as much to the divine as it is to you. Like, and that, like, is so hard to grasp. It's still hard for me to accept. Because, yeah, like, I was in a culture where, like, I used this neon green in the center. She ain't got a name. And then I'm gonna move on to orange, and then eyeliner. I don't know that I'm gonna be doing too much more on these eyes right now. Anywho. Yeah, there's, like, you get to treat yourself just as important. I have a soapbox about holding space for yourself. Like, the places that insist on being the loudest and exclusive voice in the room, for all of the legitimacies they can come up with to make that a thing. Oh, I don't put that in there. What am I thinking? For all of the legitimacies that, you know, we can come up with to rationalize that being, you know, being the only and, you know, being the template for all, like that whole weird thing. Like, my soapbox is that I'm trying to find a toothy way, because I was led to do it, and then the divine was just like, now you gotta talk about how you really feel, and I'm like, being loud and intense is so easy. It's just interesting because, like, a lot of the people who are like this, a lot of the energies that they fool with, you know, a lot of the entities that they're aligning with, like, know that it doesn't ever actually work. And yet they capitalize on making you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. It's interesting, this, like, projection demon stuff I've been kind of recovering from. Because, like, again, knowledge is fine, but wisdom comes after that, and people tend to use and abuse interpretations or beautiful things in order to make an interpretation that benefits them exclusively. And they know it's not going to work, like, a lot of these people know that this is not a long-term thing and have contingencies. Like, imagine a group of people and they knew, and but they still believed that it was gonna work. Like, they believed wholeheartedly. But that's not who we're really talking about. Like, it's just a group of people that know. That's why they have ways in place in which they can get out of, what they probably should be facing. Like, if you don't actually believe, or if you actually believe that you can get out of these things because you're special and different and whatnot, like, you would just be living your life confused as to why people are so upset and not knowing what else to think about it. But, like, trust me when I tell you, people know what they're doing, I think is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I do say, like, I was pretty ignorant for a long time, and I had been handheld by many beautiful, patient people in expanding my worldview, and I'm really grateful to those people because, like, holy cow, like, not only was I just being ignorant at other people, but I was being, like, incredibly ignorant and loathsome at myself. Like they want us to do, just feel fucking terrible for existing as us and try to get away from it as much as possible. And, like, so my conspiracy theory is that, like, this kind of, like, hyper aggression that's, like, kind of plaguing this hyper deadliness, because it all results into that, which I think you understand. But this it's interesting. Oh yeah, and I used this, like, gold one. I think it says early morning. This dude right here, and, like, whatever this yellow is in the Morphe palette, stop it. And this, whatever this yellow is in this one. Yeah, I just, now that I know that, like, this is all kind of, like, been an interesting kind of game to make people afraid, I feel like it's understood that there's, like, a common belief, but it's like, I do get hung up on certain things about that, like, a lot of these people believe in a redemption story. If you're new here, like, a lot of the people that are having the day they voted for, having the day they invested in, having the day that they regurgitated, those people a lot of those people believe in this, like, redemption story, like a deeply spiritual belief system, in that things are getting worse and worse, and someone's coming to get me. Someone's coming to get me out of here. Like, that's what, like, Christian revelation stories, like, a lot of religions talk about the end of evil, the end of times. And, like, these people believe, or say they believe, that they're going to heaven. And I'm starting to realize that, like, I was raised by people who wanted me to, be in that, for whatever their reasons were. This is NYX Epic Ink Liner, professional makeup, waterproof in black. yeah, a lot of these people, including our well-meaning parents and everything like that, like our well-meaning communities, like, you know, it was like, you have to do this because, like, this is the only way spiritually you're guaranteed to get the fuck out of here, right? And it's just like, we're focusing a lot on being afraid and judgmental of everybody, and not focusing enough on, like, what it'll be like when we get there as individuals. That, like, I talked too fucking much. I don't know why the hell I thought I was allowed to, like, share in these spaces. I am not disillusioned anymore. But, like, they believe, so they say, that if they follow, you know, a certain set of, you know, rules and doctrine, like, that involves love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control. They believe in those things. And I'm not citing one thing. Like, you can read a lot of holy texts, and a lot of these common holy texts require those same attributes in every human being. And they believe, you know, they say they believe that, like, being that will get you into some form of, like, redemptive paradise. And yet, I don't think any of these people, these kinds of people, ever considered what heaven would be like on their terms. They considered that it was cool for this world, and there was a lot of, like, justification of that kind of thing. Like, you know, okay, well, I'm going through horrible times in my own country, so I should be able to impose on someone else's land. You know, we have limited resources. There's so much scarcity. People need to make room. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, you can have room, but just respect and honor me. Understand that I am sacred and you're sacred. And that behavior crosses all bounds. And yet they just made it about here so much. Like, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, I don't want this, I don't want that, like, I do want this, I do want that, in the here and in the now, and these people don't even believe they're supposed to be here much longer. Eyeliner's so hard when you're talking, oh my god. Especially when you're transitioning from, like, eyeliner to panda. That's my soapbox is just that I don't believe that a lot of the people that believe they're going to heaven have ever actually thought about heaven. And, like, if you stop kind of piecemealing who does and does not deserve just basic human decency, like, I don't know. Like, are you, like, what do you think that world looks like? I do think a lot of people, as we're seeing, like, rich people, these wealthy people that were part of this global scandal, I think that they believed that you believed it and would fund their idea of what heaven is, because heaven is what they're experiencing right now for themselves, taking advantage of innocent and the weak and the innocent, making entire infrastructures in order to breed an entire world for your gain. That's their heaven. That's what they were doing. They wanted to have that right here and right now, and they did. For the rest of us who feel like pawns a little bit, have you thought about heaven? Because I actually do believe in, like, all possibilities of things. So, like, I am actually fully prepared. I'm fully prepared for things to go a lot of different ways, because logically speaking, it has gone, like, the world has turned in so many interesting social directions. So, like, what's one more? So, I don't know, like, when I think of heaven and healing from my religious trauma by taking everything that I've learned about their stuff, like, when I take it literally and I look at it from the perspective of a person who is just taking shit literal, and I'm not making up nuanced ideas about what it may mean, and I think about heaven with no tears, no crying, no pain, I think that it would require people to, like, be peaceful. Like, I don't, like, when I think no dying, I don't think that, we're just gonna be, like, Bugs Bunny cartoon characters just, like, shooting each other with, like, double barrel rifles and, like, you know, blowing a hole in our stomachs and just, like, you know, this isn't, like, what is that movie with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn? Death Becomes Her. Like, I think about that, where it's just like, there would, like, maybe heaven is just like, yeah, we can be aggressive with each other, but we don't have to worry about the death or the dying part because it's heaven, right? Like, I'm serious. I'm being so serious. Like, have you thought about heaven? Actually, like, I have. Like, I don't really know, like, that I can say that I know anything. I really don't. But if I can believe that, you know, the world is falling apart, and, you know, if I can believe, even for a time in my life, that, like, being a queer person is gonna land me into a fiery furnace, if I can believe that, then I can believe that, like, there is a good God, and goodness is both easy and hard, and this good God cares, wants to be a part of our lives, and wants us to have the rest of our life be peaceful, right? Like, we just go back to this Eden thing where we're just hanging out. Maybe we're doing the fruitful and multiply thing finally. Like, maybe we're finally just sitting down and doing the artwork that we were too afraid to do because productivity's gone, because, like, we're not, like, I don't know, dude, is heaven a pyramid scheme? Like, is that how people believe that God is? So my conspiracy theory really is just that, like, I don't think, like, oh, sorry, whatever the fuck this is, highly illogical, the Triple Light Fantastic Powder by MAC, but it's like, I mean, it's mostly dead. I think I'm just kind of pretending at this point. I could use it. But like, anyways, and then I went in over it with this color. Oh my gosh. It's Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Baked Bronzer by Physicians Formula. And I'm just kind of like going in to that darker shade and kind of like ombreing it out, because that's how I do it. Yeah, I don't believe that they believe in a good God and a heaven and a new earth and all former sins passed away and peace, like, you know, beyond any understanding, love, connection, care. Like, I don't know that, like, have you thought about what, like, all of those holy books say about paradise and bliss and oneness with God in a way where it's like you have to strip the self away? Like, that's what I'm seeing and hearing. I just keep getting badgered about fucking jewelry and eyeliner and red, specifically the color red. Like, I feel like I was inundated, and I think that, like, it's just, I don't think anyone's actually, like, if you sat there and were honest with yourself about what heaven would look like to you, a lot of people don't realize that these horrible people were living out their heaven. This was heaven to them. Whatever this was that they're doing, I don't know why they would want that, but I do know that that's what they wanted heaven to look like. Like, you can't, like, I don't even know if I'm gonna argue anybody about that. Like, you know. And so, if I believe in all possibilities, which for someone with existential OCD can, like, it does go places. It's like, girl, calm down. And I do have to watch myself with my thoughts, but here's my Batman Revolution highlighter, Makeup Revolution Batman line. The Batman in Boston there is like barely visible. Like, do you actually believe in it? Because, like, it's not, I don't know. I know that there are people that you thought were on the same page as you that are not on the same page with you. Homie, they don't give a fuck about you, bro. But there are a lot of us out here who are enraged and confused and not sure what to do, and it's just like, if they can live out their heaven here, like, what but fear is stopping us from living our heaven here as well? One thing about believing in heaven is that it does make sense to have this consciousness dealt with, integrated, and developed before entering into a space like this, because, like, free will doesn't go away. You're still a sentient being. You just are in one accord about a very big and beautiful idea where people can be aware of themselves enough to build with each other. And I'm just like, bro, I guess, like, the wages of sin are death, sure, like, yeah, I get it. Like, I know that you kind of, like, need to, you know, get your shit together. I just, like, do you know that? I just feel like, oh, I don't know why I keep forgetting to show you shit. And then I have this other thing that I like to kind of do, this big highlight, like, right above the bronzer eye layers. It's just this, like, Beauty Creations gold fashioned baked highlight. And then I moved on to Bay blush from this Saharan Blush Volume 2 by Juvia's Place. Yeah, I think that I'm curious, like, if anyone had ever really, like, considered, if you believe in a heaven, what does that look like? And if your shit is, because I didn't write these fucking books, if your shit is saying that you have to literally prepare to go there, like, what do you think you have to be like in order to be in the presence of, like, something that extraordinary and, you know, so extraordinary that people are fucking dying for it? You know, people are being scammed through it. You know? Like, just... I have the fan blowing, and I hate, like, that I did that, because now I'm just afraid it's gonna, like, fuck up my mascara and dry it out, so I'm gonna hurry. And I'll show you what it is after, because, like, I've been on here for over an hour. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But also, like... I'm back. Also. I did make this other video, and I had intention of, like, because I'm in school and I'm learning shit. Lash Sensational Firework Maybelline New York in the shade Blackest Black. And then I'm going to put on my bottom lashes the Lash Sensational Sky High Maybelline New York in the color Plum Twilight. I like to put purple on my bottom lashes. Purple is just a really good color to have around brown eyes if you want them to stand out. And, like, I'm doing such a smoky that, like, I don't want to, like, completely lose my eyes in it. Like, I still want to be visible past it, if that makes any sense. Hello. I've been on here for a long time. But, yeah, I just was kind of, you know, thinking about ways in which I can, like, you know, update and do cool things with my channel since I'm in school for all of these things. And I can incorporate them into, you know, my stuff here with you guys and make things look more organized maybe and fun, an intro, whatever. And I started to, and I was never moved to even open it up again, or I'm not right now. So, like, I think, actually, I'm not going to do this on camera because I don't want to start having y'all doing bad habit stuff. You should not put, like, random shit on your lips that are not lip safe. And I'm yelling at myself right now. And I gotta stop doing that shit. I gotta stop doing that shit. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons. Which one did I want? Yeah, I think I do want this one. So I challenge people who believe in some kind of, like, paradise to check in on themselves and really contemplate the kind of person you have to be, you feel necessary to be in paradise, whatever that means to you. But yeah, I wasn't moved to post the previous video, and I'm not feeling moved to make, like, a big deal in this one. Like, this just, yeah, but, maybe I'll do something fun in the future. I don't know. But I hope that in your musings about paradise, that it includes still holding space I hope that you always take an opportunity to pause. Even in the most unconventional of spaces, be brave about it. I'm gonna do Lip Pencil NYX Espresso Lip Liner. And I'm not gonna talk because I can't do both. Maybe take this opportunity to deep breathe while I do my lips. Because I was hitting you with a lot. Maybe you needed to take a breath before we go, part ways. We're doing Queen Bee Melted Matte, Liquefied Matte by Too Faced. Watch all these niggas be on the Epstein file. I haven't read it. I have not read it. I'm just probably should have said that at the beginning. I have not read it. I am kind of, it's like a lot of the things that I know, I only really know because it's kind of like still trickling in, even though I'm not putting in any effort really to know and read them. I'm not moved to do that yet. Frankly, like I said, it's devastating for the victims. It's devastating for what it means for the consciousness of a collective people living in the same area, and what that's what to do about it. So but I will get there. So if any of the products I've used today is on that file, please let me know so I can throw it the fuck out, because it's probably old anyway. I will be honest with you, I have not been buying makeup, so these are all older things that I'm throwing on my face, and they could even be fucking expired, but I just love to do makeup so much. Sorry, I just need to scratch now. And maybe we should do that. Maybe we should, maybe we should stimulate our physical form after being in that really high space. If you need to wiggle, if you need to breathe loud, if you need to fuck around with your hair and scratch your scalp, let's do that. If you need to drink something, by all means. I'm not talking about alcohol. I mean drink some water. Give it till the weekend, honey. Good grief. I get it. But yeah, if you need to take some time, right? But I did want to leave you with this. Oh, sorry. I don't know. I don't know that my camera is necessarily excellent quality here, but this is what we're working with. Sisters, not twins. Extra as fuck for no reason. Where am I going? Probably nowhere. So that's the look. I wanted to get some, I don't know if you can tell, but I wanted to get some orange and yellow in there, because Queen Nandi was just giving, and I didn't know what I had, but I could see some yellow and tan, and how the green and the camel colors and the the natural colors all went so well, and pops of white places, but not too much, because it's just the room was just so well balanced in this picture, and she is just so regal and so just so sure, and so I just wanted to find a way to incorporate that. So I did try to do some hues of green, because like, you know, the highlight over here is a little bit lighter than like the darkest parts, you know, in the crevices and whatnot. Anyways, I don't know why I'm like hyper focusing on that, but that's what I was doing. And like I said, some orange and yellow elements and pops, you know, the natural colors coming in. We've got the dark green here and a little bit of light green in the center. And I am just kind of into over the top fucking eyeliner now. So, yeah. And then, like I said, pop of white. We're getting a little bit lighter, giving ourselves some like highlight moments. You know, keeping the blush regal. Like, I didn't go crazy baby pink. I tried to keep everything very like still on earth. She's just, even though big, but it's the flare of it that's the fire. I love this. I love her. She's absolutely stunning. You know, look up Queen Nandi and how freaking cool she was. So I hope you had a great time connecting, or I hope that you had a great time remembering that you get to be talked about. Like, yes, you can do so much, but you need to pour back into you, because that was one of the most insidious parts of all of this stuff that's going on, is that they were trying to take away from you. And even at the very soul of you, you're struggling to break off that stuff. And now we know that it's like monetized. Like having to undo a lot of this is realizing that like this blockage that I had really nothing to do with having in my soul, like that blockage was sold to the highest bidder, you know, or the lowest, you know, depending on like how important you are in a fucked up thing like that, right? And so I know what you feel and what you're thinking is a lot, and it's overwhelming, and you feel like you've got to like, one of those things that you should be doing, that you know you should be doing, take time, take space for yourself, and that in and of itself should be opening up your intuition, opening yourself up to your own internal knowledge, because you do know yourself. You are made in the image of the source material. Now you have to live like it. And it's so much easier said than done when you're used to dependency and you're not used to the confidence of divinity, being intertwined and in love and in service and in partnership and all of the things that you're doing in your life. It's crazy to think like, oh, like slowing down is like the most risky fucking thing to do in times like this. To not feels so counterintuitive to your survival instincts, and the divine has you in a place where you're not in survival. I have you. You are my queen, my king, my sovereign. Like, you are mine in this status, not in what you thought you were, but what you've worked to realize you are. And I didn't make any mistakes. I am asking you to risk it all. I am asking you to acknowledge that you are not living anymore in scarcity, scare, fear. You're not supposed to live like that. It is counter to what we've been doing this whole time. and the activity at this time is to take space for yourself. In addition, like, yes, you do have to schedule in a pause time. Have to stop. And I think that the thing that the world least expects is how one we really are. And it always happens that way when there's a pause. So yeah, we know what we're doing. We know what we're supposed to be doing. Yes, this is hard. Yes, I have trust issues. Yes, we all have trust issues. Yeah, we are not okay with this. Yeah, we want to do something. Yeah, we want to, like, do something. Rightfully so. There's righteous indignation there, too. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. We know what we're capable of. We did the shadow work. Like, this is, like, a crazy time to be self-aware. Because the mission, the download, the calling that you've been knowing about is real. How the fuck? I know. I want to end every day that I have lingering doubt. My mantra has been, well, I guess we'll see, won't we? There's a lot to be afraid of, but I guess, like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, which a lot of the times is not doing a lot more than before. Which, like, listen, some people were on my teeth so hard that, like, when I realized that I get to choose who I speak to, like, I am not obligated by any means, like, literally not obligated. Like, that is exercising your free will. A lot of our ancestors did not get to exercise, for one. Okay, so, like, for my ancestors, I'm gonna stop engaging in a cycle. Like, cause, like, the fuck do I look like? Like, no. So we know what we're doing. And it's hard to do. But welcome to adulthood. Welcome to connection. Welcome to balance. Welcome to the lifestyle that you manifested. I guess we'll see, won't we?